Hello, everyone. Thank you for either coming back to Let's Get That Money, or if it's your first time, welcome. Today we are here with Chris. He is going to share some serious information with us. Before I get too far away from where I'm headed, uh, subscribe, hit the like button, and you don't miss any videos. We're going to start putting them out and some serious information, some things that you're definitely going to want to know. And right now, I'm going to let Chris explain to you what he does. When he finishes that, we're going to jump right into it and get some questions answered.
Cool. All right, hi everybody. So my name is Chris. I'm sitting here today with James, and what do I do? So I'm a dedicated business relationship manager by my profession or career, and with that, I help or monitor businesses here in Central Ohio with their relationships averaging got about 170 clients that I manage under my umbrella. And with that, my job is really to help them with their business banking, but then also, encourage or to help to grow their business relationship with me.
Okay. Okay. So, quick question. Exactly what entails being a dedicated business relationship manager?
So basically, what that means is I'm your guy. So when it comes to your business banking relationship, if you have anything that go on, whether it be from your personal side of banking all the way over to your business side, I'm your person to call. With that, I have 5 assistants that help me when it comes to their needs based upon what it is.
Okay. And then I understand at one time you were a banking manager as well.
Yeah. So prior to my career here dealing with the business banking side, I used to be a branch manager as well. I managed a total of 3 branches at once. And with that, I led the market as the continued growth for 3 years, back to back, top 10 in the company there. And I used to work for Fifth Third Bank.
Okay. Are you a Fifth Third now?
No, with Huntington.
Okay. And then how long were you in the business banking side as far as bank manager?
Branch manager, I was there 5 years total.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then how long have you been a dedicated business relationship manager?
I've been on the business side 8 years now.
Okay. Good deal. Okay, let me dive in here a little bit deeper. I think I had notes here. Community projects.
Yeah, so I deal with those like throughout the Central Ohio or Columbus, depending on what the businesses are. Going out to help or finance those particular community projects with some of the small businesses that are looking to develop or either grow. So I help out a lot with that side, just kind of breaking down the barriers to help them understand that there are finance programs or ways to get their projects actually financed as well.
Okay. And is that that's probably a little different than promoting the business then.
Yeah, that is. So outside of that, I mean, promoting typically will come first, like through networking events and things like that. Getting out there and really just having real conversations. A lot of people are afraid to talk. So, me kind of, hey, opening up that door to make them feel or hopefully feel comfortable, to talk or share a little bit about what they may be having questions upon or, just curious about, giving it to them in layman terms. I know sometimes it can be a little difficult talking to somebody about something that you want to know about, but the language of it just doesn't make sense to you. So being able to talk to, just a regular person in layman terms about what it is when it comes to business banking.
Okay, and you know what? I'm gonna hit the promoting thing again. Okay, say for instance, say I have a handyman business, and I come to you and I'm looking. I'm saying, okay, I'm looking on the promoting side. Exactly, what could you offer there?
Really, it's just depending upon like what are your goals. I have to figure out where you're trying to
See, I
head
want to
with
make more
that.
money.
You want to make more money, so then I take a look to see how are you cash flowing, and then outside of your cash flowing, what is your network or your your targeted audience? What does that look like for you? And we just kind of talk through that. If there's a resource that I know of, then I generally maybe just I'll give you that information.
Okay, then you just might out or pass some stuff over just based on what I'm saying and people who can help out.
Exactly.
Okay.
Or just show you a different way to maybe either go about, your business to cash flow. There again, it goes back to cash flow. Figuring out how are you actually operating the business for your benefit? A lot of people have a business and say, hey man, I want to buy something, I want to put it into my business name. And then I said, okay, that's cool. Let's take a look and see, how does your business cash flow? You know that you make the money, but are you putting that on paper?
Yeah.
And that I try to help to, find a common ground so that you can understand, hey, you got the money, but I need to see it too.
They need to know you had the money.
Yeah. You can't tell me you make it, $500,000 or $2 million, but then I look at your tax return and you show me you negative 50. That ain't helping you. So.
Well, it kind of is, but it isn't. In that case, not, but keeping that greedy uncle out your pocket.
Yeah, but there's other ways to get around that, man. There's other ways to get around that.
Okay, also, you do something as far as credit and educating people on credit.
Yeah, so Sherelle's Accounting Consultants. It's a word of mouth business that I've had since I was a senior in high school. I deal with personal credit education, and then also dealing with the consulting side on taxes, personally and or small businesses, along with bookkeeping and things of that nature. So, I go through to help consult people on, hey, here's what you make, here's what it looks like you may owe, and then we try to find a common ground based upon where you're headed for the future. And the reason I say that is because a lot of people will come in to say, hey, I don't want to pay that many taxes. Okay, but you're thinking in a year or two, you might want to buy something that you're going to need to show income for. It's better for me to know that now rather than just trying to save you a crap ton of money that it may not benefit you later because you've wrote off everything. Now you go to the bank. I understand the back end process when it comes to underwriting and those guidelines. 9 times out of 10, it's a general rule of thumb of what it could look like. But my thing is, there again, I want to make things simple. I enjoy helping people and at least sharing the information. So showing you, hey, there's a different way to go about this and still, be able to get and achieve your goals and your dreams is better to, I feel like it's better to understand why you're doing it, from that aspect.
That definitely makes sense. Just so everybody knows, Chris's information will be in the link, so you can contact him directly if you have questions on different things. I'm going to come back to the credit question.
Okay.
Okay, so assuming somebody has bad credit, is there anything that you can assist them as far as getting credit together? Or?
Yeah, so I do a consultations. Consultations are $250. We sit down and we basically take a look to see where you're at, figure out where you're wanting to go, and then I help you put together a plan that actually benefits you to be able to increase that score. As we go through that particular process, there again, I'm walking with you along the way, because the biggest thing I say when it comes to credit is there is no real quick fix if you don't put in the work. You got to put in the work, and if you don't put in the work, a lot of times it'll never change.
Okay.
It'll never change.
Okay. I've got conversion on here.
I don't know what that is.
I'm not sure. Okay, you already mentioned that. Okay, getting business and personal loans.
Yep. So going back to the same thing, educating people on how the business credit works and your personal. Long story short, you don't have business credit without having personal credit together. It literally is just that simple. The two, you can't, it doesn't exist from that side. Now, once you get it, there are two different, when I say credit bureaus from that side. You have a business credit bureau. Equifax is one of them, but that Equifax is different from the personal or consumer Equifax. You have LexisNexis, LexisNexis can be pulled business and personal. The thing people don't understand with LexisNexis is that LexisNexis captures any and everything that has happened in your life from the day you were born. So some people will be like, oh, hey, well, I filed bankruptcy 20 years ago. It's not on your personal credit because of statute of limitation. However, LexisNexis still has it. When it comes to lending, it's better for me to know that, because if there is a potential issue or I see something going on, I'm able to try to help direct you or steer you in a way that's going to get you a yes. And a lot of people, sometimes you just got to be comfortable to talk about it. So that's where I come in to help you, be able to achieve and get that business side of it, depending on which route you go, SBA or conventional. SBA is unforgiving. Conventional, we can work with.
What do you mean unforgiving?
So let's just say you filed bankruptcy 20 years ago. Personal is not going to show up. When you come into the SBA world, I'm going to see that on the LexisNexis pool. And if you've had any type of late pays since then, it's going to be a challenge to get you a loan.
On the business side.
On the business side. Yeah, and you could have an 800 credit score. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Wow.
That's why I said it's unforgiving. Unforgiving. When it comes to credit, it goes a little bit deeper because there's so many different factors that tie to those three major personal credit bureaus. A lot of people don't know that you can freeze or lock your LexisNexis. There's another thing called...
What does that mean?
So if you freeze or lock it, meaning no one can just go in to pull it or attach anything to it.
So during a time period, they can't put bad credit up.
That's why
So when you unfreeze it, can that stuff
if it's
go
open,
back?
yeah, it can be.
So say I froze it and there was bad credit. And when I open it, is that stuff going to go on there?
Yeah, so it has to be froze before the bad credit comes.
So, but once I freeze it, and when I open it, that bad credit, if it's already past that period of time, will it still go on there? Or
Typically, no.
Okay.
Typically, no. There again, it's a case-by-case scenario, so it just depends.
Okay. Earlier we were talking about when somebody came in to get a loan, and you were kind of going over the criteria and how you looked at it. Can you break that down for me?
So the criteria really is just talking. We got to figure out where you're at currently. And from my side of the world, I'm speaking from the business aspect.
Yeah.
So from the business side of the world, really it's just us. I want to sit down to, first of all, create some type of relationship with you. If I don't have that, sometimes I feel like for me it's a challenge to really dig in if you're closed off to sharing so much with me. You got to be able to talk and help me understand where you are as a business. For any questions that I may have, if you're saying, hey, my credit is good, I'm not worried about anything. All right, cool. Well, what does good look like to you? So just understanding that piece, because, when it comes to business credit, getting a loan, it can vary case by case by case. There's no two business owners or people coming in that are looking for a business loan. No two are the same. It's always going to be a variance.
Okay, no, actually I was looking at the number side. We were talking about earlier the 20%, and if they're banking with you guys already.
Oh, so when it comes to that, so that's when I get in the loan, the pricing aspect of it. Let's just say I get you approved. Depending on how much business you're doing with me, I price that loan according to the relationship depth that I have with you. So if you're with me, and let's just say, for my world, you need to have, if you have at least $200,000 on deposit with me, you got maybe 2 loans, a line of credit, and maybe a small term loan. You've been paying on both of those. Your financials that I'm looking at, they all look good. I look on that ratio for your annualized net income to see, does your cash flow at least 1.3? And what I mean by that is, let's say on an annualized basis, those other 2 loan payments come up to $15,000 a year, right? Mm-hmm. From a lending perspective on business, I don't look at it from a monthly aspect. It's always on an annualized, because business can fluctuate. I look at it as a whole on a year. And say you're up to 30, you're showing me a net of 30. Depending on what you're asking for, when I look at that pricing of that, I look at the margin that I'm actually receiving. I notice obviously as you're paying more, you're getting longer into your term loan or your loans as they're paying down. That margin on the business aspect from the banks is going to lessen, right? Which means the banks are not making as much. That's not a horrible thing. But when it comes to that, let's say the market price today is around 7 and 7.75. I might have more room if my margins still look good here, that I could go and drop it down to 7, and get 3/4 bases off. I can price that and then do it fixed, or I could come back in and do it at a variable rate. Really, it's just there again, it's a case by case. And, the more depth you have with them, depending on, your relationship as far as that goes on the business side, the better your pricing can be. But then also there again, it matters on who you're dealing with. If your banker doesn't really work for you, that aspect to help you understand what it is and just be transparent, hey,
Yeah.
here's where we're at and this is why. You just got to understand that piece, man. And that's
Okay.
really all it is.
So that pretty much will kind of dictate the interest rate for the individual.
If not, you'll be at what the market rate is, you know.
Okay. Here you also do some networking for business events.
Yeah, so like we'll have sales networking events going on. Going out to meet different people and seeing exactly, where they're at as far as like banking and not being afraid to talk, from that side again. I say all of this networking really is just communicating, but people have to be comfortable. You got to be comfortable to talk to me or whatever the case, or me talking to them, and having that ability to kind of there again break down a barrier, figuring out, say you're banking with somewhere else, and I may want to know, so why do you bank with them?
Mm.
What is it that you like about them? What is it that you don't
Mm.
like about them? And if it's something that I may be able to offer you that may be a little bit better, I'm gonna share that with you. A lot of times people bank or deal with a brand, not necessarily always behind the brand, but more so because of the person. People bank with people
Mm.
when it comes to that side. Um, Even though I work for Huntington, my business account is with Chase, right? I'm not afraid to say that. So, and the reason that I do that, it ain't because of no person. It's the technology, and that's really what I like. I like things to be simple and easy because I understand that side. Now, some people want that personable relationship. Not saying that I don't want it, but for the way I like to move, I want convenience and I want access. Not everything that my current bank has doesn't offer as much for what I would like. But that
Mm.
doesn't mean that it can't be enough for somebody else. Most people are not that deep into banking sometimes like I am. So
Mm.
it's personal preference. But
Okay.
I still will promote my end of it just because now depending on how savvy that client may be based upon their needs. Hey, if I don't have something that works for you, I'm gonna tell you, hey,
Mm.
if it were me, I can give you this suggestion and this is why. And then you ultimately make the final decision.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you saying you be upfront and transparent. You don't try to just
Yeah. No, no, no.
yeah.
I mean, if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. I mean, it's just that simple. Regardless, I just had a client that I dealt with here about a month ago. They had our business credit card. She goes to pay on it. She only got a $25,000 limit. Well, in her high, season for her company, she might spend 100,000 in a
Mm.
week, and this will go on for maybe 6 to 8 weeks. Well, she's using it, paying it right back. Well, come to find out, on her business online, it shows that she has 24,000 available. She's at Easton trying to use her business credit card, and it gets declined for $2.
Wow.
Long story short, digging into it, my bank is holding the payment on the card with the same bank, and the money's already been taken out of the account. And they're telling her that they're holding it for 5 days. Okay, 5 days pass. This woman still can't use her credit card. I go back, going through the channels trying to figure out, hey, what's going on with this? Well, come to find out, She's used it. They have a limit on how much you can use within the month, even if you're paying it off. You realize that people do business because they need to be able to transact, right?
Yeah.
That people aren't walking around spending $100,000 in cash, you know, day to day or whatever. That's the whole purpose for the credit card. Long story short, hey, let's break down the barriers. You know what? This doesn't work for you. It don't work for you
Mm.
or your business. I don't have anything to give you and waiting to get a real answer. I don't have that type of power. Here's my suggestion. I'll give you A, B, and C. She says, okay, well, I referred her over to Amex. Here's the reason why I like it. You need to be able to use it for X, Y, and Z. You need something that you can give to your employees to be able to use as well, and you can monitor it. It's simple if you want to use the app or if you want to log in online. I don't work for them, but I have one, and those are the reasons that I like it. When I make a payment, it's instant,
Yeah.
and you don't have to worry about it. And uh, we talked about a few different ones, but she wanted to know, well, which one do you have? And I said, well, I have the platinum, and she wanted to know why. Well, I like it because it doesn't have a limit. Now, there's an annual fee that comes with it, but as a business owner that travels, hey, here's some of the perks that could be beneficial to you
Hmm.
from what I can see just from listening to you. Oh, wow, Chris, this makes sense. She's online blue. Oh my God, they approved it. And it says my card will be here in 2 days. I said, well, call me when you get it. She said, what do we do about this other one? I said, don't worry about it. We'll get it closed out. So I didn't have a product that fit her business needs,
Hmm.
but I was able to refer her to something that still allows her business to operate on an efficient manner and that she can still get what she needs to get done and accomplish. Now, there again, it goes back to that personal relationship side. She still wants the bank there because of me, not
Okay.
because of
Not
the
because.
bank.
Okay.
And she's not even using all my products. So, me, I look at it more as a personal relationship, from that side. Whether I have it or not, I would rather lead you in the right direction than to steer you down a path that only benefits me. It doesn't make sense.
And then in the long run, the customer might not be happy with you anyway because you could have helped them out and you
And,
didn't.
and then I didn't. Yeah. And a
Yeah.
lot of times people will go and do things because, hey, this is what the company is saying. And I get that. But I also think about the personal side of it. Having a conscience or, just it's compassion or understanding real people, to me, that makes a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. When your intro, you mentioned personal accounting and consulting and doing taxes.
Yeah. Hmm. So that's just something that I do on the side, helping people to understand that personal credit aspect. Um, and really, there again, it breaks down the barriers. Being transparent with people to see exactly where they're going. There's ways to get around it to boost your score, but you can do all of that. But if you don't keep those behaviors um, and or to keep those things going, you know, on a continuous aspect, none of that stuff really matters. So
Okay.
it's really just there again. It sits down. Um, some people are okay with paying it, and there's others that are like, well, why do I need to pay, $250 to sit down? Well, you go to an attorney, right? Because you need
Mm-hmm.
help with something. Anything and most things we do in this world is in a book. Most people don't want to read.
That's true.
So you come to me, I'm sitting down and I'm breaking that down. You're getting it a little bit quicker, but my time is worth something. But then again, you want to ask you, how much do you want to invest in yourself? You know that you've made a mistake, and if you could fix it, you wouldn't be asking me no questions.
Mm,
So it's just as simple.
that's true.
Just as simple.
Okay, and then you do something with options as well.
Yeah. So doing consulting on the options side here, and options is a stock aspect. Um, me and you had talked a while ago on the side of the street. I'm like, man, I've been trying to figure this out. I'm like, I get it, but something is not. It ain't clicking. It wasn't clicking. And you know, walking into the option world of stocks, understanding, hey, what the hell was a contract? I'm like, a contract. What does that even mean? Recognize and figure out, okay, that's 100 shares of whatever stock it is. But then also picking quality companies,
Mm,
something that you continue to make a profit off of, whether you want to buy a call where the price, is going to go up in the future and continue to make some money off of it. Or I want to sell a put or sell a call where if I own it, I can sell that price as a call for a higher price. My goal is it'll continue to rise, but not hit that strike price, right?
Yeah.
So if it hits that, obviously it's a win-win. But then now I got to find another one or go back and buy that
Or
one.
buy again at a higher
Yeah.
price.
So what I've been doing here lately is that I'll give you one, a ticker called Hubs, HUBS.
Okay.
And about 2 weeks ago, I bought it for $363. So in layman terms for everybody who doesn't know what that means, it's about $36,300. So I bid it down on that and got paid $1,200 for saying, hey, I'll buy this if it drops to that. Well, it dropped. Cool. You're going to keep your premium that you get no matter what. But I also had to pay $36,300. It's fine. The next week, I do a call to sell it at 40, at 40 or whatnot, which would be $400 per share. And I got $900 on that as a premium, saying, hey, I'll sell mine on Friday if it gets to that.
If it hits the strike price.
It didn't hit there. So that was a good thing, right? So it drops down to like 382. And I'm like, damn. So last week I did it again. I sell up to 397.50. Oh, this past Friday, it hit 405.
So they exercised you.
Which is okay.
So you made money.
I made money.
You can't be mad.
Yeah. So last week off of it, I made, I think, an additional 700. So, in 2 weeks, make, I don't know, a little over $2,000 off of it.
You can't be mad about that.
And you get, I think, a profit upside of it, maybe a little over 3,000. So $5,000 in 2 weeks.
You can't
Off
be mad
of
about that, yeah.
putting up 36,000, that's not a problem with me. So it gets a little bit deeper than that. But long story short is it was so exciting just to figure that piece out and then become, I ain't gonna say a master at it, but I make really good money off of it now. So life is different again, outside of that, man. And I really enjoy it. So that's all I can say.
Okay.
Yeah, so deal with. I got about 2 clients now that I manage their options, their option pricing for it, and they pay me. Well, I make about 30% of their weekly profits.
Okay.
From that side, and
That's cool.
yeah, no,
That's all right.
it's definitely okay.
Okay. Anything else you want to add that I didn't ask?
No, I can't think of nothing.
Well, everyone, I know you got something out of this. Again, I'm going to put Chris' information down there so you can nab it out there, give him a call or shoot him an email. Obviously, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button because we're going to continue to put some serious information out there so you can digest it, and hopefully it'll help you move to where you're trying to move to, because we all trying to get that money. With that said, enjoy life. You only got one.
There it is.
Peace out.
Peace. That's good. Good.